I had a really cool analogy once, but I ruined it on a very low-key press release. It was on the back of some multi-beam work we had done, and I was made aware of this, I say in inverted commas, scientific paper. I won't say which journal it was in, but it was claiming that this author had found evidence of the canal system in the lost city of Atlantis, because in the North Atlantic off the Canaries, there's this weird grid, and then there's this enormous line that goes all the way back to Europe, which is obviously an underwater alien highway of some kind. And all it is the satellite data is very low resolution, and a ship has gone out and they've done a grid shape, as you say, mowing the lawn back and forward. And then it's gone home. But as it's gone home...
it's just gone back to port.
Yeah, but what that is it's just a high-resolution stripe through a low-resolution background. So when I was trying to explain this, I was talking about if you could picture a Monet, an impressionist artist who's made this lovely picture of lilies on the pond, and you got Caravaggio to then paint over it in his style, like a 2-inch strip down the middle of it, without changing the composition of the photograph, just adding resolution, adding detail. It would look like there's a stripe in it.
Yeah.
It was just nonsense, but it is weird when you look at Google Earth, you do see these big long structures, and that's nothing to do with the seafloor. That's just a ship that's gone over it and filled in some detail. You know, we're at a point where we can say we've mapped 100% of the oceans. It's just that 80% of it's a really bad resolution, but it's not like there's going to be more big Mariana Trenches to be found.
Could I ask a couple of questions, Heather?
No.
Yeah.
You talked about the sort of inferred data and the directly acquired data and how that led to what looks like roads. But the other one that gets brought up quite a lot is the sort of Mayan pyramids and things like that. And my understanding has always been the data as it comes in is a point cloud. It is just dots of measurements at a certain point. We then, when we process it, we put that into a grid. And if the data is very sparse, the grid will be populated as a flat line, essentially, as a flat surface, because there's no other data to put in there.
Yep. So you get this little stepped pyramid, like coming up,
and it's just low density data.
Yep, and you've maybe just got that one point, which is the top of your pyramid, and then everything else is just sort of
the software filling in the gaps.
Algorithm going, yep, and it creates this step. I know, it's just brilliant.
The analogy I could think of is it's if you take a photo of a flower with your digital camera, and then you zoom right in until you can see the pixels, and then you can just go, look at all these squares. That can't occur in nature.
Yeah.
It's clearly a robot daisy. There's a whole team of folk that just pick apart Google Earth, and they're all getting excited over anomalies in the data, not in the Earth.
Yep, and they all think they've found Atlantis or the Mayans.
People look for stuff that they want to see, regardless of the science that's presented to them, so that's not going to go away.
That the flat Earth thing has taken such a hold. Anyone who's been to sea and has travelled over the ocean, it just...
I was just about... We must be linked somehow, Tom. I was just about to say, I wonder what flat earthers think about this whole mapping all of the oceans, or even just the sort of global map that we've got at the low resolution.
Apparently we're just making it all up to keep this conspiracy going, but like, it wouldn't work. Like, even when we're planning how much fuel to take, we've sailed the places that they said aren't joined up, and it didn't take 4 weeks and we didn't turn around. It's a great thought exercise. It's a great, like, how do we separate valid science and data from pseudoscience, and how... And I think the majority are just having fun. I think it's like an ARG. It's like okay, let's start with this. What unusual things can we find that line up with it? You know, it's the same as any conspiracy theory. If you start with the conclusion, and then you can always find correlations. You can always find like, oh, and isn't it strange that this person was here on this date? Well, someone was going to be there.